The arrival for centuries, humanity had fought its way through the chaos of a hostile galaxy, always outmatched by more powerful alien civilizations that viewed Earth as little more than a primitive, fragile rock floating in space. But all that changed when the Duran, a race of beings so advanced that their very presence seemed to warp reality, appeared in Earth's orbit. The Duran were not just conquerors, they claimed to be gods, divine beings with knowledge and power that far surpassed anything humanity could ever imagine. The Duran made their intentions clear from the very beginning. They would guide humanity toward enlightenment, offering them immortality and technology beyond anything ever dreamed of. To the world's leaders, their arrival was nothing short of a blessing. After centuries of conflict and despair, here was a chance for peace and prosperity, a promise of a future free from war and suffering. Earth's greatest minds fell at the feet of the Duran, ready to accept whatever they offered. And so, the gods began to reshape humanity's future. Cities grew with dazzling speed, powered by technology that seemed to come from the heavens. Diseases that had once ravaged humanity were eradicated. For the first time in human history, every problem seemed to have a solution. The Duran brought with them not just technology, but knowledge, ancient wisdom of the universe itself. They promised that humanity would join the ranks of the galaxy's most enlightened civilizations, that they would ascend to the stars and become immortal. But, as the years passed, a troubling question began to form in the minds of a few. Why did the Duran insist on controlling every aspect of human life? What exactly were they getting in return? The price of immortality. Though humanity had been granted the keys to unimaginable power, there was a dark truth lurking behind the veil of prosperity. The Duran did not simply give without taking. For every gift they offered, there was a price, a subtle, almost imperceptible cost that humanity failed to see at first. As the years went by, Earth became increasingly dependent on the Duran. At first, the changes seemed harmless, an improved standard of living, better health, and the promise of eternal life. But the more humanity relied on the Duran, the more they began to lose their independence. The once proud nations of Earth, each vying for dominance in their own right, now found themselves bowing to the will of the Duran. The Duran's control extended far beyond their technology. They subtly manipulated human thought, planting ideas and guiding decisions. They became the unquestioned rulers of Earth, their word law, their will ironclad. Nations that once thrived on competition now existed in a state of passive subjugation, the human race slowly forgetting the very values that had driven them to greatness: freedom, innovation, and the pursuit of knowledge. But the greatest cost of all was the loss of humanity's will. The Duran had crafted an illusion of immortality, but it was a hollow gift. The humans who had embraced the Duran's power became shadows of their former selves. Long-lived, yes, but devoid of the drive and spirit that had made them who they were. Humanity was no longer a species of explorers, of pioneers. They were the people who had surrendered their future to the Duran. In secret, a small group of humans began to question the true nature of the Duran's gifts. They dug into the forgotten corners of the world, searching for ancient knowledge that had been erased from history. They discovered that the Duran had not uplifted humanity. They had enslaved it, using their advanced technology to subtly manipulate minds and suppress human potential. And so, the rebellion began, quietly at first, as whispers among the oppressed. But soon, it would grow into a force that would challenge the very gods who had once promised salvation. The rebellion begins. The resistance was born from the realization that humanity's greatest strength, their will, their defiance, their insatiable thirst for discovery, had been robbed from them. But humanity was not a species that would submit forever. Led by Maya Jensen, a brilliant scientist who had uncovered the first fragments of the Duran's manipulation, the rebellion began to take shape. Maya and her team of renegades infiltrated Duran facilities around the world, uncovering the truth behind their control. They learned that the Duran had implanted a subtle control mechanism in every human, one that allowed them to manipulate thoughts and emotions without detection. This device, hidden within every human's biology, was the key to the Duran's dominance. The first act of the rebellion was simple but profound. They disabled the device. One by one, humans began to awaken from the Duran's mental influence, their minds free once more. And as they awoke, they remembered what it meant to be human, to think for themselves, to strive for greatness, to challenge the impossible. With the help of stolen Duran technology, the resistance began to build, weapons that could counter the alien gods' powers. They developed energy shields that could block the Duran's mind control, weapons that could disrupt their ship's advanced technology, and tactics that played on the very weaknesses the Duran had never seen coming. But even as the resistance began to rise, the Duran knew. They were not unprepared. Their vast intelligence and foresight told them that humanity would one day rebel. And so they struck back with terrifying force. They unleashed their full arsenal upon Earth, turning once thriving cities into craters. The skies were filled with the thunderous roar of Duran warships, and Earth seemed on the verge of total annihilation. But in the heart of the chaos, Maya and her rebels held firm. They had awakened the true power of humanity, a force greater than technology, greater than gods. It was the will to fight, to survive, and to overcome. The showdown, the final battle, was fought in the skies and on the ground. As the Duran unleashed their full fury, humanity struck back with everything they had. Massive battleships, once under the control of the Duran, now flew under the flag of resistance. Human soldiers, armed with stolen Duran technology, fought side by side with scientists, engineers, and civilians who had taken up arms. The Duran were powerful, yes. Their ships could tear continents asunder with a single shot. Their warriors could harness the energy of stars. But humanity had something that the Duran could not comprehend: the sheer unpredictability of human ingenuity. Maya, leading the charge from the front lines, held the key to victory, a device that could sever the Duran's connection to the planet, a weapon capable of dismantling their entire empire in one fell swoop. But it was not without cost. The device would erase all the technological advancements the Duran had brought to Earth. It would leave humanity vulnerable, defenseless, but free. Standing before the Duran leader, a towering figure with eyes like burning stars, Maya did not flinch. "You may have thought yourselves gods," she said, her voice steady despite the chaos around her. "But humanity's power is not in technology. It's in our hearts, in our minds, and in our will. And that is something you cannot control." With a single push, the device activated. The power of humanity. The moment the device activated, everything changed. The Duran's ships faltered, their power wavered, and the energy that had once surged through their beings began to dissipate. The mighty Duran, who had once walked the stars as gods, now found themselves powerless. Humanity's victory was not won by force alone, but by their refusal to be dominated, their refusal to surrender. The battle raged on, but with each passing moment, the Duran's grip on Earth weakened. Their massive warships fell from the sky. Their once imposing energy beams sputtered and died. For the first time in their existence, the Duran were on the back foot. As the battle reached its climax, Maya and her resistance forces pressed their advantage, pushing the Duran to the brink of total defeat. The gods, once untouchable, now lay shattered before the will of humanity. A new era. The aftermath of the battle was both triumphant and bittersweet. Earth, scarred and battered, now stood at the dawn of a new era. The Duran were gone, their power stripped away, their influence erased. Humanity was free. But the cost had been high. The advanced technologies that had once promised eternal prosperity were now gone, wiped from existence. Yet in the ashes of their defeat, humanity found something far greater: their independence. The survivors of the rebellion began to rebuild, not with the tools of their former masters, but with their own hands. They created a new society, one that valued freedom and creativity above all else. Earth's future was now in their hands. The galaxy, watching from afar, could scarcely believe what had happened. No one had ever dared to challenge the gods of the Duran. No one had ever defied them and lived to tell the tale. But humanity had done it, and in doing so they had shown the galaxy what true power was. It was not in the hands of gods. It was in the hearts of humans, and the universe would never forget the day that humanity rose up and proved that no being, no matter how advanced, no matter how powerful, could ever stand against the strength of the human spirit. The gods had fallen. Humanity had ascended,